So recently I made some reactions to Trailer Park Boys and I made some reactions to hockey, and today I'm going to be watching a video that kind of combines both of them. Bubbles on Hockey Night in Canada. Now, I never knew what Hockey Night in Canada was, so I googled it. It looks like it's a television show that broadcasts, I think, hockey matches on a Saturday night. Maybe I'm wrong there, but it seemed to be that has ran for a very long time. Tell me more about the show itself. And yeah, looking forward to seeing Bubbles in action here on this show. Tell me what you think about this one.
In hockey since as long as I can remember, since I was, a little wee guy. I've been watching hockey all through the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's all I did. Even before my parents deserted me, we used to watch hockey together. Yeah, apparently my dad was a pretty good hockey player. I never saw him play, but he was they called him the Hammer. That was his nickname. He used to put a lot of people in the seats, apparently, because as soon as they dropped the puck, he'd just grab somebody and start feeding them, And he was drunk on the ice a lot, is the stories I hear. He'd put a 40 down before the game, they'd go out, drop the puck, and he'd just go toe-to-toe with somebody, and apparently he wasn't a very good fighter. He got beat a lot, but the crowd used to love it. So I wish I could have saw some of those games, but I don't think anybody even got them on the video camera. Yes, I did want to play in the NHL my whole life, and I thought if I ever was able to pay the registration to get into real minor hockey, I think I might have got, I believe I might have went to the show. There's been a lot of people say I remind them of a young Wayne Gretzky. Many people have said that. I believe even Wayne Gretzky said that in an interview one time, if I'm not mistaken. I read somewhere Wayne Gretzky said, I saw Bubbles playing hockey and he's just like I used to be.
Here's the great Gretzky! Score!
Bubbles could do that, I'm sure.
Around the 80s, I became a big Edmonton Oilers fan, when they had the Dream Team there, and that was, when we would have the road hockey games, everybody would call out what team they had, and me and Ricky and Julian would always call out the Oilers, and of course I was 99. I'd be Gretzky. Julian was he was sort of, he's a bigger guy, right? So he would always call Dave Semenko or somebody like that. I think probably because Semenko was the guy that looked the most like Patrick Swayze, and Julian really
does a
likes
bit,
Patrick
actually.
Swayze.
It actually looks like a combination of Julian and Patrick Swayze. That is actually an amazing observation. Very good.
Ricky fancied himself.
Tell me more about road hockey. I remember being young in Scotland, and there was actually a phase we played some sort of hockey. We were wearing rollerblades, we had hockey sticks and these little orange plastic pucks. I don't know if it's something like that, but that's something that actually happened when I was younger, maybe 11 or 12 or something like that. I don't think it lasted too long. I don't know how it started, but is that something similar? Did you play something similar like that in Canada when you couldn't get on the ice?
Swayze. Ricky fancied himself a bit of a Glenn Anderson type, bit of a playmaker, because he'd get really high and he thought he could see into the future and stuff. Well, Randy, when he was a little guy, Randy didn't have that big boiler on him. He was not too bad before he became a male prostitute. He was not a bad hockey player. He was a little slimmer and, he could skate pretty good. He couldn't skate backwards though, so we'd always make him play defense and then we'd just go by him, and that was the end of Randy's career. And Corey and Trevor, together, they were not bad as a team. They'd both play defense and they would just sort of pass it back and forth until people got mad and Ricky'd go back and hammer one of them or whatever. But I beat Trevor almost to death one time. I just kept beating him unmercifully. It was the right thing to do. I just kept feeding him.
Okay. The way you describe that's so good.
In the summer at least 3 times a week a game breaks out, and then in the winter, Ricky and Julian are usually in jail in the winter, so I go for skates and things like that, and sometimes just bring Corey and Trevor out just to punish them into the boards and stuff. But I'll try to get on the ice 2-3 times a week. Oh yeah, that's my hockey helmet from when I was a kid. That's the old Cooper Crash. The old Cooper Crash helmet from the 70s. I think it was the 3000, I think was the number on it, but I've taken a lot of serious jolts to the head with that thing on, so it's a good helmet. Me and 2 line mates, I'd have to put Wayne on there. I think I'd put Wayne and LaFleur out there with me. I think those 2 could, you know, really keep up with me. Maybe put Coffee on defense.
Keep up with him.
For sure. That'd be a good line. No, there was a pond in Sunnyvale, and we used to have an actual rink in Sunnyvale. It burned down since then, but it used to be a nice rink, and you know, the old wooden boards and the mesh screen. We never had the glass, but it was a nice rink. Leahy used to be the rink supervisor actually back then. He used to take care of the rink, and you drove the tractor and everything. We didn't have a Zamboni or anything, but we had an old farm tractor with a big ice scraper on the back, and Leahy'd get out there and clean the ice.
Is that something that happened? A tractor
Until he got fired. He got drunk one time. Well, most of the time he was driving the tractor cleaning the ice, he'd be wasted, and one time the gas stuck and it got out of control, and he was going through the boards and right through the canteen, flung him off the tractor, pissed himself. It was horrible. Big yellow piss stain on the ice. It stayed there for about close to 2 years. Nobody wanted to skate over the piss stain. I've been to a few NHL games live. We saw a Montreal-Boston game out there they did one time, and I've been to games here in Toronto. I've been to games in Edmonton and Calgary and Vancouver, New York City. I went to a Rangers game. Sean Avery, I know that guy. He fired a puck at me. I was up, just got to my seat with a hot dog and a popcorn and a thing, and Avery fired a puck right off my jaw just to be an arsehole.
Does he apologize? Did he?
No, he thought it was very cute. He thought it was very cute that he rifled one off my chin. Favorite tough guys? Jeez, I don't know. I mean, I used to like Terry O'Reilly.
O'Reilly has been hitting everything in sight.
Whoa. Terry O'Reilly was a mean bastard back in the 70s. I liked him a lot. I liked Semenko a lot. McSorley. You know, he was my guy sort of in the 80s. I don't know, there's been so many of them. I mean, Ty Domi, obviously. I fought Ty Domi one time at a bar. You know, and he's a lot tougher than you think. I suckered him. Everything I had, I cranked him, and he just sort of blinked, and he was like, "Who are you?" And then he beat me almost to death. So don't ever fight Ty Domi at a bar, I'll tell you right now. Well, I think fighting definitely has a place in hockey. I mean, I think they maybe should even encourage it a little more. You know, let the players have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
You know, have a cigarette on the bench. Guy Lafleur used to smoke on the bench. Let them have a couple drinks and
Did
go
he
out
really?
and, you know, really get her going.
You can complain if you want to complain.
It was a big thrill to meet Don Cherry. And in the video there, you know, we're sort of fighting, and I thought I was going to just sort of manhandle him, but he's pretty strong. He's a pretty muscular dude. I didn't realize. I thought I was just going to be flopping him around like nothing. And he took it pretty serious. He, you know, he grabbed onto me. I couldn't move him. A couple of his outtakes didn't make it into the video. He gave me a couple good shots in the mouth. You know, just to let me know who was boss or whatever. I love Ron McLean. I've met Ron McLean a couple of times. He's a smart fella. My God, he knows a lot about hockey. I don't think anybody knows more than he does. I think it was at a golf tournament somewhere I met Ron McLean. We were right on the liquor, or at least I was. Just driving liquor into me. Left and right. Maybe it wasn't even Ron McLean.
The way he describes things is so good, man.
I don't remember.
Here's
So
Crosby with a burst of speed up the middle, gets open.
Sidney Crosby.
Welcome back, Sid.
Oh, I think Sidney Crosby's fantastic. And like little known fact, you know, he's from the East Coast. People know that, but a lot of people don't know that I used to coach him. I taught him a lot of the stuff he knows, all those fancy tricks through the feet and stuff. That was me. I taught Sid all that stuff. No, I haven't talked to him. I mean, he's pretending like he doesn't know me, even though I, you know, basically taught him everything he knows. He won't return my calls. Well, my allegiance these days
His
is,
acting is so good.
it just sort of depends, you know, on whatever city we're in, that's who I'm allegianced with. Like if we're out in Edmonton, I'm the biggest Oilers fan you ever seen. Drive down the road to Calgary. Calgary fan. You know, because we get free tickets. We can't really, you know, I can't get free tickets from the Calgary Flames and then sit there and cheer for the Oilers. I'll get beat up. But I mean, I just like
Makes
hockey.
sense.
It doesn't matter. You know, I cheer for whoever. I just like the game, the art of the game. So many good players these days. Yes, I played in a bunch of the arenas in Canada. I played with Guns N' Roses. I'd get up there and sing Lecker and Whores. Me and Axl Rose would do a duet every night, sing the encore.
Is this real?
Lecker and
Does he
Whores
actually
together.
perform like that?
And, you know, it was a big thrill to do that. Plus, you're in you know, some of the buildings where all the greats have played. I played in, you know, Edmonton with them, Calgary, where else? Toronto, Montreal, I believe. All the, you know, the big buildings. So it was pretty thrilling. I don't know if Axel watches hockey or not. I got to get him watching it, actually. Maybe get him up to Sunnyvale and get him, you know, put a stick in his hand and see what he can do.
Does he actually like release music
I
as this
noodled around a
character?
couple times with some hockey songs, but it's hard to outdo Stompin' Tom, right? Stompin' Tom wrote a beauty there with the good old hockey game. I mean, I might take another crack at it. You know, go a different route, maybe write, you know. That's a good idea. I think I will write a hockey song.
I'd like to hear that.
Hockey's a huge thing on the East Coast of Canada. I mean, you know, every little town you can find's got its own rink, you know, so there's a lot of kids getting a lot of ice time out in the East Coast. I think more so than, you know, the big cities. And I mean, I think, you know, eventually it'd be nice if we could get our own team out there, NHL team, because people would come from, you know, they would drive hundreds of miles just to see the games. So I think it would fly. I'm going to start working on that, maybe put in a bid.
Can do it, man. That's awesome. Like, what a character. I can't believe, like, how good he is. Like, the actor. Tell me more about the actor that plays Bubbles. Like, such an iconic character. Like, just the way he plays him, the mannerisms, the way he speaks, the things he says. Like, super funny. Good to see his thoughts on hockey as well. Tell me what you think about them. Seen Sidney Crosby there. Tell me like how someone like Sidney Crosby compares to Connor McDavid. That's someone I've learned a lot about, Connor McDavid. But how do they compare as players? Who's the best? And yeah, tell me more about what you think about Bubbles, his thoughts on hockey. Tell me more about Hockey Night in Canada as well. I'll have more hockey reactions coming soon, so tell me if there's any like funny videos, good videos that I should watch for that as well. And yeah, tell me about what you think about this one. Thanks.